the International Agency for Research on Cancer is an intergovernmental agency forming part of the World Health Organization of the United Nations. Its main offices are in Lyon, France. Its role is to conduct and coordinate research into the causes of cancer. It also collects and publishes surveillance data regarding the occurrence of cancer worldwide. It maintains a series of monographs on the carcinogenic risks to humans posed by a variety of agents, mixtures and exposures. Following its inception, IARC received numerous requests for lists of known and suspected human carcinogens. In 1970, the IARC Advisory Committee recommended that expert groups prepare a compendium on carcinogenic chemicals, and it began publishing its monograph series with this aim in mind. On October 26, 2015, the International Agency for Research on Cancer of the World Health Organization reported that eating processed meat or red meat was linked to some cancers. IARC categories: the IARC categorizes agents, mixtures and exposures into 5 categories. Note that the classification is based only on the strength of evidence for carcinogenicity, not on the relative increase of cancer risk due to exposure, or on the amount of exposure necessary to cause cancer. For example, a substance that only very slightly increases the likelihood of cancer and only after long-term exposure to large doses, but the evidence for that slight increase is strong, would be placed in Group 1 even though it does not pose a significant risk in normal use. Group 1, carcinogenic to humans. Group 2A, probably carcinogenic to humans. Group 2B, possibly carcinogenic to humans. Group 3, not classifiable as to carcinogenicity in humans. Group 4, probably not carcinogenic to humans. Only one substance, caprolactam has been both assessed for carcinogenicity by the IARC and placed in this category. Industry influence and transparency. Critics of the IARC have stated that it has become susceptible to industry influence and suffers from a lack of transparency. Lorenzo Tomatis, its director from 1982 to 1993, was barred from entering the building in 2003 after accusing the IARC of soft-pedaling the risks of industrial chemicals in a 2002 article. In 2003, 30 public health scientists signed a letter targeting conflicts of interest and the lack of transparency. The IARC rejected these criticisms, and there was hope that the controversy would die down after Paul Clergues retired in 2004 and Peter Boyle became the new director, followed by Christopher Wilde since 2009. Tomatis focused on the IARC monographs which rate chemicals' carcinogenicity, and cited several cases in his 2002 critique. In 1998, a panel voted 17-13 to rate 1,3-butadiene a carcinogen. A second vote, which Tomatis called highly irregular, occurred after industry observers schmoozed with the panelists and one panelist left the meeting, and a 15-14 vote downgraded the chemical to a possible carcinogen. Joan Denton, director of California's Office of Environmental Health Hazard Assessment, made accusations in relation to styrene in 2002, and Michael Jacobson of the Center for Science in the Public Interest criticized the inclusion of industry observers in a saccharine panel, who were allowed to vote. Tomatis has also highlighted DEHP. In defense of the IARC, Clergues noted that only 17 of 410 of the working group participants were consultants to industry and these people never served as chairs. He said that people who receive funds from affected agencies do not vote, and further noted that industry-funded scientists are important because industry often funds studies. IARC's secrecy led a Lancet Oncology editorial to warn of the agency's eroding reputation. As of 2003, the IARC did not release details of disputed votes, did not release the financial disclosure forms required of panelists, or the names of the panelists until the panel is complete. Individuals being considered for the new director are released only to representatives from the 16 member countries. Clergues and other agency officials defend the IARC, with Clergues noting that procedures and names are listed on the finished monographs, and said names are not released to avoid political pressures. The IARC was considering new transparency disclosures such as a narrative explaining disputed votes. Criticism: The agency and its confusing category system have been criticized for repeatedly misleading the public. See also, European Organization for Research and Treatment of Cancer, National Cancer Institute, Air Pollution, Genotoxic, Mutagen, Toxicology. References. External links, official website.